Hi there, I'm going to tell you how to download benefits and contracts from the Cenefits application. So, to recap, if you're watching all these videos, you've already created your filters and shared benefits. You've invited your employees and suppliers, and you've created benefits and contracts. And you've done maybe you've done some uploading and checking of evidence and scores. So you've done a lot so far, and then you either want to check your progress, see how things are going, to get a sort of quick snapshot of what's going on with all your benefits and contracts, or maybe you want to download things to produce a report, quarterly or annual report or whatever. So you want to download a file which can provide that information. And we've got two types of files in the application at the moment, one about benefits and one about contracts. So the one about benefits lets you see all of the details about benefits that you maybe already discovered in the application, all the fields and information that we store about them, as well as to see the actual textual evidence and score explanations and scores that people have provided, as well as information about whether or not benefits have pending evidence or scores or rejections. So that's that kind of file that you can download. Whereas with contracts, you're getting a file which has got all of the information about contracts, all the detail that you're familiar with from the rest of the application, as well as some aggregated fields to tell you the number of benefits delivered in the contracts, the amount of social value, amount of value, and the number of points delivered as well. So some aggregated fields here. And we're going to build on these in the future in a number of ways, probably providing you some way to create saved searches, and maybe also providing some kind of dashboards so you can visualize this information without having to download the files. But in order to do that, we really need to see people using the application more live and get a sense of what would be useful to them, what would be most useful to people in common. But for the moment, you can download these spreadsheet files, and you can, for each of these sections, it's the same behavior. You can click to filter them based on the fields that are in the filter. So for the benefits file, you've got a number of filters here which are relevant to the contracts that the benefits are inside, and then you also have a number of the fields that are relevant to the benefits themselves, and where appropriate they have a range, so a minimum and maximum. I guess commonly you're probably going to, you might look for benefits that are based in a particular contract, or you might look for benefits that have a particular category, or maybe have a particular outcome. If it's a shared benefit that you're looking for, you might look at who who's delivered the benefits, and like who from your team or which supplier, and you might look at sort of date ranges and things like that. So you can apply the filter that you want to here, and then the list will be filtered according to that filter. And you can then either select individual items or select whole pages of items, and you'd be able to click on download selected, which would download just the things that you'd selected. Or if you just click on download all, it will download everything that's been filtered or unfiltered in this whole list. You also can choose between the Excel and the Open Document file formats. The contracts are very similar. They're the same. They have a filter which just really has the contract-based fields. So I guess you're maybe going to search based on maybe on contract category, or date range, or supplier. Again, those kind of filters are probably be more common. So you'd apply that filter, and the rest of it works in a very similar way. I'm just going to look at the files now and show you the files. So typically, if you downloaded one of these files, they typically look like this. You can click on this bit here in any of your spreadsheet programs and double click on that bar, and that will expand everything so that you can see everything without having to drag columns around. And then you'll see that this is the benefits file. We have the basic information, the contract it's in, the outcome, the benefit reference number, a 4-character randomly generated reference number that we generate for all benefits. And you can go through and look at all the various fields. But of interest, you've got the sort of email addresses of the people that have been assigned to provide evidence. So your assessors, supplier, who can assign their own users or one or more users as their what we call executives, people to actually provide evidence for the benefit. And the same with the delivery partners, they can have one or more people that they've actually assigned. So you've got the contact details of all the people in this file. You've got the benefit status explanation, which could be handy if something is delayed or substituted or incomplete. You've got a reason for that, why that's the case. You've got the textual evidence provided by assessors, the score that they provided, the score explanation, and the same for the suppliers. So the supplier evidence, the textual evidence, the score, and the score explanation, delivery partner evidence. You've got that's the sort of the meat of the thing. You've got all of the evidence here that you need to see at a glance with the benefits. And you've also got some indicators here about whether there are file attachments, whether there's pending evidence or scores, or pending rejections of evidence and scores. And then you've also got a hyperlink here which takes you directly to the check page for that benefits evidence or scores. So it's a quick way to get back in and have a look and maybe download those file attachments. So it's a pretty handy file overall. The contracts file is very similar. You can do that to expand all the columns. You've got all the sort of usual fields that you expect to have based on the information that's stored about the contracts. But of particular interest, again, you have the email addresses of the contract managers and of the supplier admins. If you want to get in touch with them, just quickly from this file. You've got this aggregated data at the back end here. You've got the total benefits in the contract, the amount that have actually been completed, total points, the amount that have been completed, the total value, monetary value, social value, and the amount that's been completed. So it's quite handy if you just want to quickly create your your report for whatever purpose. So that is how to download contracts and benefits in the Cenefits application. Thank you.